Hello and welcome to another edition of Cat Scan. My name is Adam Green, and I'm here to talk about the Arizona Wildcats football team. You know, the start of this season has been about as fun as any in recent history. Arizona is coming off a 56-0 win over South Carolina State. They're ranked 22nd in the nation, and things are looking pretty good. Let's talk about the game itself. It was boring, be honest. Every Wildcats fan wants to see the team blow everyone out, but at the same time, a little excitement would be nice. Looking at it, Matt Scott was efficient. He completed 30 of 36 passes for 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also ran for 61 yards in the score. And Daniel Jenkins and Kadeem Carey also were good on the ground, picked up more than 70 yards, and they each scored a touchdown. In total, the Cats ran for 323 yards in the blowout. And the biggest intrigue, the most exciting thing in the game was actually the 2012 debut of Vanilla Vic, B.J. Denker, the backup quarterback. So he played well. He actually got to play, so that was good. In all, the Wildcats took care of business in this one. They did what they were supposed to do to an FCS team. They've now won 5 games in a row, and for the first time since 1998, and they seem poised to play in a bowl game in year 1 of the Rich Rod era. They're doing better than anyone could have expected up to this point. But you have to ask yourself, is this team legitimate? Are the Cats as good as they look? Well, it's tricky because the answer is yes and no. Their offense is every bit as good as it appears. Matt Scott is the perfect quarterback for the system, and he has so many weapons at his disposal. The receivers, the running backs, the offensive line has played well. They are good. They're going to score points. But that's only part of the equation. Defense is where the Cats have issues, and it's where we all thought they would struggle going into this season. The Cats have given up more than 382 yards per game, and they've sacked the quarterback just once each time. That's not going to get it done. Now, it's not to say they don't have any talent on defense. Jake Fisher leads the team with 33 tackles. Safety Jared Tevis has 26 tackles and a pair of interceptions. Marquise Flowers has looked good as a linebacker. He has 23 tackles and 1.5 sacks. And Jonathan McKnight has a pair of picks to his credit. The Wildcats are getting healthier. Hank Hobson coming back. Dan Pedinato is coming back from an injury. And Justin Washington, who was suspended, may soon return following that suspension. It would help the Wildcats defense, and they need it. Because even though up to this point Arizona's offense has been so good to where they can get wins, the defense has to get better, especially starting this week because the Wildcats face arguably their toughest game of the season when they go to Eugene to take on the 3rd-ranked Oregon Ducks in Autzen Stadium. You got to remember, Chip Kelly, the head coach of Oregon, has only lost once in that stadium, so they're pretty good up there. Oregon has the same electric offense as usual, although they're a bit untested this season. They've played only Arkansas State, Fresno State, and Tennessee Tech. Those are not particularly good teams. Arizona's out-of-conference schedule has been a little bit better. Arizona coach Rich Rodriguez had some thoughts on Oregon's offense.
In the spread, there's the whole gamut of versions of the spread. We are probably closer philosophically to Oregon than most of the teams out there that run a shotgun spread type of system.
Did that make sense to you? It didn't really make much sense to me. But the gist is, for Arizona, it'll be looking like they'll be looking at a mirror. Only what's in the mirror is a much better reflection of what's actually looking into it. Oregon is a better team than Arizona. They are what Arizona is trying to be on offense. They have a ton of weapons. Kenyon Barnard, DeAnthony Thomas. They've combined for 552 yards rushing on just 69 carries. And Thomas, who's a Heisman favorite, has already scored 7 touchdowns this season. Where Oregon's weakness may be is at quarterback. Like a couple weeks ago when Arizona played a freshman in West Lunt, redshirt freshman Marcus Mariota, or Mariota. He's got as many pronunciations for that name as Oregon has uniform combinations. But he's a bit of a question mark for the Ducks. He's thrown 8 touchdowns and 1 interception this season. But like Lunt a couple weeks ago, if the Cats can make him face a little adversity, which he hasn't yet this season, there's a chance he'll buckle. Ultimately, though, this game will come down to whichever team can actually get a stop. The over-under line in Vegas is around 77 points, and the Ducks are favored to win by nearly 4 touchdowns. The point total seems low, but the spread seems high. My prediction, Oregon 52, Cats 38. They compete in this one, but just aren't ready to take down Oregon in their own building. But for more on the Arizona Wildcats, you can listen to my podcast, which is called Bearing Down. And if you feel the urge to follow me on Twitter, you can do that at @TheAdamGreen. Thanks for watching. We'll chat again next week on ArizonaSports.com.